So Palantir is a company that I myself have publicly came out and said that this company could one day change the world. It could literally be the biggest company the world has ever seen. It's a data company. I believe data is the new gold, and I genuinely feel that right now Palantir could be like buying Amazon in the late 90s or even Apple in the 80s. But if you're in our WhatsApp group or in our Patreon, you're probably thinking, you just sold your whole Palantir position. What the hell are you on about? And that's exactly true. I did just sell every single share I own of this company, and there's a good reason for it. So why did I sell? Is it the earnings? Is it the market overall? Or is it even the Palantir dilution? I'm going to reveal the main reasons why I sold this company and have completely removed it from my portfolio. But also, I'm going to tell you why you really should reassess if you're currently holding this company too. And if you're buying it, you should be really careful with the points I'm going to disclose in this video. Now, I know this goes against the grain of all the Palantir videos and even the ones I've done in the past, so if you do appreciate a literal Palantir fanboy talking absolute sense and being completely transparent, saying that he sold this company, and you appreciate this type of honesty, please do me the kind favor, make sure that like button is turned blue. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you don't want to listen to me, that's absolutely fine. And if you want to YOLO in with leverage, then make sure you do so via eToro on the pinned comment, and that way at least you do get lifetime access to the LWT eToro chat room. So before I get into why I sold, let's have a little look about my position overall. I actually bought this company 6 months ago, around about March 2021, and as I like to do with all companies, I scale in slowly. What I tend to do is always take a starter position and pray that the stock continues falling. I like downside because if I've done my research correctly, the lower the better. And this is the exact same case with Palantir. As it continued falling, I continued buying shares. And I actually stopped buying in July of this year because I just felt, okay, it's not going to go any further down. It seems to have bottomed out, and whatever I have, I have. I had just over 600 shares. I think it was 625 shares, and I thought this is what I've got to ride going forward unless we see some mega changes into the downside for Palantir stock. But then comes September 2021, and I was up about 20% on the trade. So I locked in some gains for various reasons, again, I'm going to talk about in this video. And then a couple of weeks later, I sold the rest of my position. And I know you're thinking 20% is not exactly a home run on a company I've said in this video could be the biggest company in the world, and it could be the next Amazon or Apple. Why the hell did you sell this company? Well, look, in full transparency, the first reason that I sold this company was market exposure. I feel that the stock market is due a correction. I've got a video coming actually on this week saying why I think that stock market correction is overdue and what I'm going to do in it. So if you are interested in that, make sure you're subscribed. But I do feel that a correction is going to come sooner or later. It could be because of the Evergrande crisis. It could be because of tapering. It could be many reasons. And I don't really care. I just know it's coming. But when that market crash or correction does come, speculation stocks, and that's what I class Palantir as, they're going to get hit the hardest. So what I've been doing, not just with Palantir, but with a lot of the what I do call speculation plays in my portfolio, companies that I'd say are deemed higher risk, companies that may be profitable in the future or are a long way off profitability and, you know, are a little bit more hope, if you want to call it that. Companies, again, like MNTS, which literally is sending stuff into space and hoping one day to mine asteroids. That's complete speculation play. I mean, if it works, of course, I'm going to buy a cruise ship. But at the end of the day, it's a gamble, and therefore in that sort of higher risk sector of my portfolio, which is definitely not a big part of it either. But Palantir does at the moment, with it not being profitable and with it diluting its shareholders, in that speculation aspect of my portfolio. So I feel that when the market crash or correction does come, this company is going to go way past my entry point. It's definitely going to fall more than 20%. If the market falls 10%, I see Palantir falling maybe 30%. So therefore, why not lock in gains and just buy it lower? The simple case of buy low, sell high. Sounds crazy in this market, right? Or you could even change that to sell now, buy later, because I probably will buy Palantir again, just at a much lower price. Now, the second reason I sold, and as I said, I do tell my Patreons what I'm buying and selling as it happens, so if you're interested in that, go and check it out in the description, but it's the dilution. The dilution on Palantir the more I look into it, scares the hell out of me. This company, I know, is a growth company. It needs to raise capital, and it's doing so, majority of it, via dilution. Now, if you don't know how dilution works, there's a very basic mentality of how I tend to look at it. Let's say Palantir only has 5 shares available. The whole market, if you owned all 5 shares, you own the company in terms of stock float. Out of these 5 shares, you own 1. You own 20% of Palantir's stock. Let's say now they dilute another 5. There's now another 5 shares. Palantir sell these at the market for $10 a piece, meaning they've made $50. Now what happens? There's now 10 shares outstanding and you still own 1. You used to own 20%, but now you own 10%. So what happens here is the shareholders who owned Palantir when the SPAC merged and it was actually listed as PLTR, they now own a lot less. A hell of a lot less. In fact, if you look at the dilution since they did actually become PLTR, it wasn't necessarily an IPO, it was called a SPAC merger. Again, there's loads of videos on it. But basically, when they became a stock, they had around about 905 million shares available at the market as of the third quarter 2020. But now their shares have more than doubled. There's 1.89 billion, that's billion with a B, shares outstanding of this ticker, meaning that they have diluted shareholders a whopping 108% in little over a year. That is a staggering feat for any company. And that is literally scaring the pants off me, and another reason why I sold it. Because if you own part of Palantir, you have to understand, or any company, you own a part of a business. And your percentage ownership of Palantir, if you bought it when they first merged, is now 50% less. And to me, that doesn't compute. That just doesn't make sense. Really, no one should really like this. Now again, I know Palantir is a growth company. Don't bite my head off down in the comments. A lot of companies in this growth stage, they dilute to raise capital. It's better than bringing on debt in the long run. I understand all the logic, but again, this brings me to the point I made earlier. Why not just sell now and buy when it's a little bit safer, or even in fact lower? Because I feel that, if you double your float, there's no way you should be riding logically higher than where you are unless your revenue is a hell of a lot better than what Palantir's is. Because trust me, it's not that good either. Now coming on to the third reason why I cashed out of this company is the stagnation in revenues, operating revenues, well, basically everything. If we go back to November 2019, we can see their net incomes was around about a negative $139 million US. Fast forward 2 years later pretty much, and you can see that it is minus $138.5 million US, which means in 2 years, really, there's like, what, $500,000 difference? Actually, no, because you've got to throw in this mega minus 800 million in terms of net income. The company is getting way more contracts, way more exposure, way more popularity. Why the hell is their net income a hell of a lot less, if not stagnant? It's just baffling to me. A company with a market cap of like 50 billion or whatever it is you can see on screen now. I really don't understand how this company is putting out such poor performance in terms of revenue. I know they're investing in themselves, they're growing, they're advertising, they're doing all they can, but the company isn't really showing on its balance sheet a lot of growth for what's priced in. I just don't see it. I'm going to go out and say this. NEO has a better balance sheet in terms of, profitability for the future than Palantir does. It's actually sickening. But with this and other things like their operating revenues looking pretty poor as well, then I just can't really fathom how long it's going to take for this company to even look remotely worth its current valuation. It's hard to do. It really is hard to do. And again, I want to be clear here. I like the company. I like Karp. I like the way he runs the business. I like the potentials with the business. I can't see it staying at this price forever. In fact, I'd put money on I can see a 50% drop at some point. Why not just buy it then? That's what I can't fathom. And then sort of the final reason was this news that came out about the UK government contracts not being renewed. Now, Palantir, when I first bought into it, from my understanding, every contract they have, whether it with governmental or civilian application, everybody kept renewing and in fact buying more. And it was a big selling point for me because it was clear that companies and governments loved the product. But now it seems for various reasons that the healthcare system in the UK are not reviewing their data agreement, which is sort of a big kick in the nuts for a company in its stage, because that is a big player. And there's rumors of other government organizations also looking at pulling the plug. And I don't think that's anything really to do with Palantir's product. I think it's more to do with cutting back on government spending. But nonetheless, this will hurt Palantir's balance sheet, and they need to make up this difference from diluting you even more. That's the only way I can see it. The company does have a great product. It's slowly growing, but I think there's a few things. One, it might be the product they're selling at a different rate. They should be selling at a better profit margin maybe. Or maybe they're hoping they sell it cheap and then, the return buyer, the repeat business, they start increasing their margins that way. I really don't know, but one thing is for sure, since, 2019, the revenues haven't really changed. So all of this leads me to my sort of assumptions of lock-in gains get out. I mean, look, 20%, of course, it's not what anyone wants. It's not what everyone hopes. I always try and aim to make at least double on any stock. 2x is the long-term goal. I mean, I did this in 6 months, 20% in 6 months. I mean, everyone would take that all day, I hope, but things changed, and I thought it's better to lock in gains. Now, I could be completely wrong, and it never goes down, it never looks back, but I really don't think I am. I think companies, when this recession comes, when this next crash comes, or the dip, or whatever you want to call it, these companies, Virgin Galactic, companies that are more hype players are going to get hit the hardest because they just don't have the cash flows. They're going to need to dilute investors. And Palantir, like I said, they've just lost a big contract there. I know they're getting more contracts as well, and to be fully clear, they're getting more than they're losing, but I feel I'm going to get this at a cheaper rate. That's the up all and end all of it. I feel like you're going to get it at a cheaper rate. If you wait for a correction, you're going to get this company at a 50% discount from its current price. It's just a matter of time. And again, if you disagree with me, that's cool. Let me know down in the comments why I'm wrong. I'm more than interested to have dialogue with people here. I mean, investing's about opinions, right? And my opinion is I will buy Palantir again, just a better price than what I had it previously. So why not lock in gains, fight another day, and wait for that dip? Oh, and I just thought of another reason why you shouldn't be buying this. Cathie Wood is bullish on it. Of course, I'm joking there. But seriously, if Cathie Wood is buying something, you've sort of got to sum up how the short-term future of this company is going to look. Long-term, again, don't disagree, but it's going to be a volatile, bumpy ride. And I just feel that if you are going to buy Palantir, you need to have a mega long mindset. You need to continue buying on the way down. I wouldn't be buying it on the way up. I think them down days are gonna come. They have to come. They really do. So Tom Nash, I love your videos, dude. You're very bullish on this company. In fact, you're the one who probably turned me onto it, and I love the process you do. I love the company again. I just feel there's going to be a lot of downside at some point in the future. It could be 2 years away, it could be 6 months away, it could be next week. We really don't know, but I do feel it's coming. So if you disagree with me again, hit me up down in the comments. If you want to learn how I actually pick stocks for value, you can check out that video up there, and you might be able to learn on how I actually look and value stocks. The code word for this video is Alex Carp. If you can drop that down in the comments, that's Carp with a K. It massively helped me out. Smash that like button on your way out. You know I love you. Take care. Peace.